Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen will address the nation on sweeping reforms in the cocoa sector following an emergency meeting. The talks were convened yesterday amid growing concerns over delays, payment to farmers and mounting financial pressures at the Ghana Cocoa Board. The minister is expected to outline immediate steps aimed at stabilizing the industry and restoring confidence among cocoa producers. Now, ahead of the finance minister's address, let's hear from the farmers on what their expectations are. And we have been joined via Zoom by the president of the Mancron Cocoa Cooperative Farmers Association, Francis Tiano, for this particular conversation. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Newsfeed.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Right. Thank you for joining us. But first of all, what do you make of Cabinet calling for this meeting? Has it been long overdue?
Okay, first of all, let me extend my warmly greetings to all cocoa farmers in Ghana, especially my community, Mancron. But as we said earlier, this conversation started about 2-3 weeks ago, where we started having challenges from our purchasing clients. You take cocoa to them and there is no money. So we started calling on government to do something about it, because looking at the challenge that we are having currently on the world market, the price has dropped significantly, and as I'm speaking, it's around 3,800, 4,000. And government or COCOBOD is buying the cocoa from farmers from $5,000+ per ton. So if you look at the margin, it means that government needs to borrow to top up to buy from the farmers. And looking at the value chain, there are other extra costs that government or COCOBOD need to incur to be able to buy the same ton of cocoa. So it means that whatever government sells on the world market, the same thing cannot be given to farmers because of the cost on the value chain. So looking at the situation that we find ourselves today, nobody knows when the price will appreciate. So if government or COCOBOD don't do anything about it, it means that the system is not sustainable. And looking at the current problems that this current administration inherited from the previous COCOBOD management, there was a chunk of loans taken for rehabilitation that most of these farms feel that this current government or this current board need to pay. So there are certain debts already in the system, and also monies that they took that they will supply cocoa to these off-takers that they couldn't supply at that cheaper rate as at that time. And looking at the current price, even at the low price as we are saying today, even is still higher than what they sold at that time with the futures market, that we didn't supply that cocoa. So looking at all these challenges is something that is huge on this government, that they need to do something smartly to be able to sustain the industry. So looking at the call from the presidency to have an emergency meeting, this alone shows that the government takes the farmers very importantly. They take the sector, they give the sector with a very respect that we expect, because without anything from the cabinet, I think the COCOBOD will not get any money anywhere, and cabinet needs to give him the assistance to be able to get additional funds. So looking at what they did yesterday and the information we are hearing, it means that something pragmatic steps need to be taken. And they can't do that without dropping the price. Although we are farmers, we are not happy with price dropping. But looking at the current market, if we don't reduce the price and we continue to maintain the price, it means the off-takers will not buy from Ghana. As we are hearing, they are moving to other neighboring countries because it's cheaper on those markets. So anybody will expect cheaper things. So once the price of cocoa is cheaper on the other markets, they will move there. And what are we going to do with our cocoa? Although government wanted to set up industry, add value to the cocoa, as they are saying, but it's not a one-day thing. It will take you time to be able to do that. So for us to be able to sell the cocoa now, we need to bring the price to the current statistics on the world market so that we'll be able to sell it. So that going forward, whatever government and COCOBOD want to do to be able to help the sector sustain, we take care of those things.
Right. So for you, what you are looking out for are the long-term solutions, not any short-term solution to this particular problem.
Yeah. We want a long-term solution, because if you borrow today, as the CEO is saying, to pay the 50,000 tons of cocoa that is being owned, ask yourself the deliveries that are taking place this week. Because as of last week, that he gave us the information that the cocoa that they have received and they have not paid is 50,000 tons. So ask yourself from last week to this week, what about the deliveries that the farmers are giving to LBCs to deliver to them? What about the current one that is ongoing at the purchasing clear at the various points? Farmers are continuing harvesting cocoa. The season has not ended. So if you borrow to pay the 50,000 tons, what about the rest? Where will you get money to buy the rest? Because you know we rely on syndicated loan for this COCOBOD purchase since it started. And today, because we have issue with the wet market, we borrow and we couldn't pay for 2 seasons. That is 2022 season to 2023 season, 2024 season, 2023, 2024 season. Because we borrowed twice and we couldn't pay. We went to the market and we didn't get the money. I'm surprised to hear from the outgoing government saying that they were getting the syndicated loan, but it was in the high rate, and for that reason they refused.
Right.
If it was in the high rate, whom did you communicate it to? They didn't get it. And as at that time, the things that they were doing there, go there, and the whole COCOBOD offices are overstaffed. And you are using farmers that are suffering. And as I'm speaking, we are competing with galamseyers to get labor. Now, cost of labor on our farm is very high. So why do you have to increase the staffing at COCOBOD? Not at all. These chaired officers, extension officers that you have overemployed, overstaffed.
Right.
And they are sitting in the offices. What are the contributions that they are giving to the value chain? And they are taking a lot from the farmers. And it has contributed to the lower price that they have been giving to us. And the price of cocoa went up to 12,000. We were calling on them to increase the price for cocoa farmers. They refused.
Thank you.
And they give us $3,000 cedis per bag. As at that time, a bag of cocoa on the world market was over 10,000. What farmers are saying now is that when the price appreciates on the world market, they should give us the fair price, so that when the price drops,
points well made.
The price drop.
Points well made.
What we experience today, and the price also drop in our market. We will understand. But it's not in the case that the price will increase on the world market.
Points well made. Points well made. President for the Mancron Cocoa Cooperative Farmers Association, Francis Taino, speaking, and the Minister for Finance, Dr. Castiel Atuforsen, will be addressing the press soon on some reforms in the cocoa sector. But